If you want to sell anything online, it's actually not all that hard. I know that this is kind of a surprise to a lot of people. Some affiliate marketers who have been struggling would swear up and down that making sales online is nearly impossible. Well, with the right traffic and the right sales materials, you are bound to generate sales from time to time. Closing a sale is not the problem. Generating consistent, high-value sales, that's the issue. Don't confuse the two. Sadly, even if you are able to master the art of online sales, you may still continue to struggle. I understand that this is better than not generating any sales at all, but if you put in a lot of time, effort, and energy into generating online sales, only to settle for a low, middling amount, you're wasting your time. That's the bottom line. As the old saying goes, either you go big or you go home. The name of the game when it comes to online sales success is return on effort. You heard that right. You've probably heard of the phrase return on investment millions of times before. Return on effort works on the same principle, but there is a slight difference. With return on investment, you are trying to invest as little money as possible while getting as much return as you can. Pretty straightforward, very simple concept. Similarly, if you're going to invest your time, attention, and focus in something, shouldn't you expect maximum rewards as well? This is the whole concept behind return on effort. If you work for yourself, it's very easy to work around the clock for chump change. Believe me, I've done it. It's not pretty. Sure, you're passionate about what you do. Oftentimes, it doesn't even feel like you're working. However, let me tell you, if you're going to invest your time, effort, and precious energy into something, don't you deserve to get the biggest reward out of all that investment? Thankfully, there is a way out. You don't have to stick to the grind. You don't have to put in all these hours away from your loved ones just so you can put food on the table. Using the high-ticket sales secrets that I'm going to share with you in this training, you will learn how to maximize the return that you get for all your efforts. It is not rocket science. It all boils down to being at the right place, talking about the right things at the right time with the right people. If you're able to line all those up, then you will get all the best results. At first, it may seem like this is very hard to set up. You only need to look at how high-ticket salespeople do it. When they started off, they were no better than you. In fact, in many cases, they knew less than you. Now, here they are, generating 7 or even 8-figure annual sales. How do they do it? It all boils down to high-ticket sales. Fine-tune your reverse-engineered brand. Now that you have reverse-engineered your competitors, and you have examined certain elements of their website, as well as marketing strategy critically, the next step is to look for patterns. Look for the industry standard. When you look at the content that your competitors publish, as well as their ads, their brand values, and their site layout among others, a certain pattern should emerge. There should be some sort of pattern that you would see that pretty much unites all your competitors. Their sites may look very different from each other, and their content is obviously different enough. But when you look at the themes, topics, and overall design philosophy they follow, many of those sites actually share quite a bit of similarity. Pay attention to this. Use this as industry standard of your high-ticket sales niche. How come? They wouldn't have that commonality if it doesn't work at some level or another. There's a reason why photography services, legal services, certain types of medical specialties share similar design and content patterns. The reason, of course, lies in customer expectation. When customers see that service providers have websites designed a certain way, that's what they will look for. At the back of their mind, that is the industry standard. Look for this industry standard. Your own website, as well as marketing materials, content, and editorial policies and strategies should mirror the industry standard. In other words, when people end up at your website from search engines or social media or other traffic sources, they're not in for a shock. If they have been looking for the kind of merchandise or service you are advertising or promoting, they probably look at other websites pushing the same things. When they end up on your website, they know what to expect, because your website speaks the same graphical and content language as your competitors. This is the industry standard. You gain instant credibility and legitimacy when your website appears to be in the mainstream of your niche. The industry standard can only go so far. Please understand that when you adopt the industry standard, all you are doing is trying to get a head start. Compare this with starting from scratch. You don't know what you're doing. You don't have an idea. So you come up with something new, but that new design may be just so disconcerting and so random to people used to your niche that they may either ignore you or fail to take you seriously. None of these situations is good. This is why you need to get a head start by adopting the industry standard look and content policy. But after that, you have to fine-tune your specific look and content based on how your website actually performs. If you notice that the vast majority of your traffic is excited about a certain type of content, and pages containing the content tend to get more traffic, if you notice this pattern, then shift your content strategy towards that type of content. Drill deep. Become the established online authority for that type of content. This is how you customize your brand based on your actual experience. You're not going to stay with the industry standard. The industry standard just gives you a starting point. From this point onwards, you have to look at the actual performance of your website to help you chart its future. Build up your base and constantly ask for feedback. To build a solid brand in any high-ticket niche, you cannot insulate yourself from your audience. You have to create a community around your content. Look at them as your base. Look at them as your partners. Constantly engage with them. Constantly ask for feedback. Make them feel that they are co-creators of your website. Constantly optimize key parts of your online presence. On your website, constantly optimize your affiliate offers, product offers, content strategy, and mailing list recruitment strategy. Keep mixing it up and look at what works. The problem is if you believe that you just need to build a website and keep it the same way forever, you're not doing yourself any favors. You're putting yourself at a serious competitive disadvantage because, let's face it, most people do not do things right the first time around. There's always room for improvement. You can always optimize for greater results. This is why you have to constantly optimize the different key elements of your online presence. Are you offering the right products? Are you scaling your mailing list correctly? Are you filtering people correctly? Are you offering the right content? Are you recruiting people to your mailing list in the most optimal way? There's just so many places you can improve. Don't fall for the trap of thinking that your website is some sort of take it or leave it proposition. Let me tell you, if that's your mindset, most people would leave you. How would you know? Look at your bounce rate. If, for whatever reason, people do not detect the information or experience they are looking for, they're not shy. They will bounce out quickly. And not only would this hurt you as far as Google is concerned, it can also erode your brand's value on the internet. When people start to talk about your brand, it's very easy for them to sweep you under the rug and dismiss you as an afterthought. You don't want that to happen. What is the secret? Keep reading. Your secret sauce. Community. If you have read any kind of content marketing book, or if you have done any kind of affiliate marketing and researched what affiliate marketing specialists do, you probably have come across the word community several times. Community is just like the word love. People use it all the time, but the more they use it, the more it loses its meaning. I know it's sad, but it's true. You can't look at community as some buzzword. You can't look at it as just another marketing concept. It has to be real for your specific case. Unfortunately, nobody can do this for you. You have to jump in there. You have to engage with your community members and get them to become emotionally invested in your brand. How do you do this? Well, send updates where you ask people for their opinion and you give out freebies. Don't get nervous. Just because you're giving out freebies doesn't mean that you're giving out money. Believe it or not, in marketing survey after marketing survey, people respond less to dollar incentives than they do to moral or symbolic incentives. Believe it or not, simply giving out a graphic member of the month or mentioning their name in your next email update is enough to incentivize people. Regardless, you have to give them incentives for participating. Make them feel that they matter. I have seen many mailing lists give out updates where they mentioned everybody who would send in any feedback. Even if it's the most ridiculous feedback, even if it doesn't really add anything to the discussion, they still get acknowledgement and recognition. It is no surprise that those mailing lists tend to be successful because a lot of people on the list feel that they matter. They feel that they are being listened to. They feel that they are being validated by the brand that they support. If you are on mailing lists and one mailing list treats you like a complete nobody and you feel anonymous, while the other list mentions you and runs promotions or collaboration campaigns that excite you, which list would you rather stay on? Which list's email would you rather check? Which list would you talk about with your friends? It's a no-brainer. When people feel like a number, or they are made to feel like they are another face in the crowd, they're not all that excited. They won't be motivated to become your brand's evangelist or provide testimonials for your brand. Please understand that this is crucial. Since you are dealing with high-ticket sales that involves very selective and very discriminating audiences, a little bit of fan support helps. In fact, it can mean the difference between perpetually struggling and becoming one of the top brands in your niche. Tap your fan base. They are not just your customers, they are your potential fans. Turn them from content readers and list squatters to your pumped up, energized, and enthusiastic fan base. Not only are these people more willing to buy whatever it is you're pushing, but they're also more willing to spread the word about your brand. How come? They feel emotionally invested. They feel connected. At some level or another, they are under the impression that they have skin in the game. Grow your brand around your community. This is probably the hardest part of this process because a lot of marketers are content to stop at the point immediately above this section. But if you truly want to take your brand to the next level, evolve your brand around your fan base instead of the other way around. This is the secret to sustainable brand power. If you want your mailing list to grow in value over time, build it around the needs of the people on your list. Hold contests, hold AMA sessions, hold photo contribution contests or projects. Ask individual members if you can turn them into case studies. These are just some of the many ideas that you can use to build community. Remember, your list is not just a collection of people who have given you their legal consent to send them messages. Your list is a relationship. Treat it like one. Picking the right high-ticket service or product to sell. Prior to this point, I've helped you put together an online conversion platform. I have helped you put together, using the power of reverse engineering, the website and messaging platform that you need to turn your traffic into cold, hard cash. The next step is to figure out how to sell the right product or service to your list. Here are the steps that I follow. When you start segmenting users, don't focus on sales. The first thing that you need to do is when you are building your website and you're building your mailing list, do not focus on sales. Focus instead on segmentation. This means you have to create a system where your users will segregate themselves. The name of the game is to get rid of information seekers who don't want to buy anything. That kind of traffic is useless to you. You set up $1 items or cheap services. The key is to get as many of your list members to sign up for these so you can then qualify them for additional sales later on. Optimize your messaging to maximize trust. Pay attention to your open rates. Do you notice that some of your emails get a lot more responses and opens than others? Do you notice that some of your emails do not get that many opens, but they get a lot of clicks? You have to slice and dice this data so you can come up with a great combination of high open rates and high internal email click rates. It may seem impossible at this point, but the more experiments you do by focusing on your most successful emails, the closer you will get to that great combination. Pay close attention to what your community demands. Give your community members an opportunity to tell you what to do. You should do this on your social media accounts. You should do this on your website. You should do this through a specially designed, incentivized engagement system for your email. Regardless of how you do it, you need to do it. You need to ask them what it is they would like in terms of content, promotions, products, services. Please understand that there's a big difference between what people say and what they do. You have to always cross-reference whatever suggestions and recommendations you get from your customer base with their actual behavior. If they keep saying that they like a certain type of content, but you notice that when they go to pages that contain that content, they bounce out, they may be telling you something else. They may be telling you that you may be publishing a certain type of content, but it's not that precise content that they're looking for. This is a serious hint that you should pay close attention to. You should investigate it further. They may be looking for some sub-niche or some sort of specialized content that is closely related to the content you already have. That's why your pages have such a traffic pattern. It's not like people are not interested in the content. They are. They're clicking through, but they're not staying. This is where a little bit of engagement can go a long way. Think of it like some sort of detective story. Pick the most credible, yet highest value product or service you can offer. High ticket sales is all about offering the very best. People are not looking for second best. People are not looking for a bargain, if you think about it hard enough. They're looking for the best. This means that you have to engage with your community long enough for them to tell you what you should be selling. Believe it or not, your list members will tell you. They know what they're looking for. In the case study that I mentioned about the MBA program, I was told which graduate programs are the most popular in China. When I took action on that and changed the direction of my content production and editorial policy, My conversion rates went through the roof. Your community eagerly wants to tell you the answers you need to make more money. The only question is, are you willing to stop and listen? Think beyond commission payouts. As I have mentioned in an earlier video, you have to look at the big picture of what you're doing. It's very easy to get blinded by high commission rates. It's very easy just to zero in on that point where you sell a $5,000 service or merchandise package to your customer off your mailing list. It's very easy to just focus on that and then move on to the next customer. If you're doing that, you're wasting your list. I can't emphasize that enough. That person who bought $5,000 of services or products from you can easily do the same if you convince them of another product or service in the future. That's how you make real money with your list. Each and every name on that list wants a relationship with you. Don't blow that relationship using a one-time, big-time mindset. If you think they benefited you by buying a $5,000 item, you haven't seen anything yet. That's just the beginning of the relationship. Keep building that trust. Focus on building and maintaining credibility with your high-ticket sales client base. Treat each and every one of those names like they are made of gold.
That's it for this video today, and thanks for watching. If you like this video, then please subscribe and hit the bell of notification, so you will get notification as soon as I upload a new video. I wish you best luck for all your future projects. See you later next time.